Curiosity-based newsletter, February 10th, 2026. Subject line: 278 leadership books by Black authors. Image: banner of the 2026 leadership book list by Black authors, curated by Curiosity Based. To celebrate Black History Month, we've updated our leadership book list by Black authors to include 278 books. This list kicks off the fifth year Curiosity Based has researched and curated list of leadership books for each of the Heritage and History months. We believe that to enrich how we lead, we need to expand who we read. We also need to expand how we define leadership, which is why these lists include memoirs by leaders. On this year's Black authors list, our first-time Seattle area authors James Whitfield, whom I've personally known for over 10 years, and his partner in work and life, Kristen Whitfield. Their book, Reimagine Equity, Leading Strategically to Fulfill the Promise of DEI, is coming out this month. Writing about diversity, equity, and inclusion feels especially bold right now as DEI is under attack and funding for related programs and initiatives continues to be pulled back. The book lives up to its promise. After reading it, I genuinely feel that equity has been reimagined for me. The authors offer remarkable clarity about what equity actually means. They start with the literal definition of equity, that is ownership in an asset or company, and apply this definition to the responsibility of creating a culture that fulfills the promise of DEI. In their framing, equity is shared ownership. They also clarify that equity is not a, quote, predetermined outcome, end quote. Instead, it's about, quote, ensuring processes and practices, end quote, that define both, quote, a shared definition of success, end quote, and, quote, meaningful collaboration to overcome barriers to success as perceived by the different diverse people involved, inclusion within a system, end quote. One of my biggest aha moments came when the Whitfields distinguished between building racial equity and fighting racism. Much of the work in the US focuses on anti-racism, which they describe as dismantling the structures that perpetuate racism. While they acknowledge the importance of those efforts, they're clear that, open quote, racial equity is about what gets built instead, end quote. And as they write, it's about, open quote, practical ways people can work together within specific systems to build toward a new and reimagined future where all races can thrive, end quote. While they focus on racial equity, I found myself imagining how this approach could apply to any group that feels marginalized at work. Reimagine Equity is full of easy to understand analogies and practical guidance, making complex ideas feel both accessible and actionable. Check out this book and others on this month's leadership book list. We know there are plenty of titles missing with our current book list. Please let us know if you have any recommendations of leadership books by Black American authors for us to include next year. Since we work really hard to curate these lists, we hope these authors will get the attention they deserve. If you think this list is valuable, please share it and spread the word. Here's a sample text you can use when sending this book list out to your network. Want to read leadership book narratives by Black Americans? Check this out. Hashtag diverse leadership authors, hashtag Black leadership authors, hashtag Black History Month, hashtag expand who we read, hashtag enrich how we lead. You can check out our other leadership book lists by those who identify as women, those who identify as having disabilities, Hispanic slash Latino slash Latinx, LGBTQ, Native American, and AAPI. We are always adding to these lists, so please send more recommendations our way. View all of our leadership book lists here. Best, Julie. To learn more about Curiosity Based, please visit us at curiositybased.com.